October, it's getting closer. It'll mark a year since you.
Good morning from Carrying Place, Ontario, where we drove here from Presqu'île Provincial Park yesterday. A lot of rain yesterday. We didn't get a chance to go kayaking. And then today the idea was I was going to do some winterizing the trailer video and emptying the water out. We'll get started here and then we're going to have to finish up at home. So enjoy. So very much like the rest of my water system, my black tank flush has a quick connect on it to make things go a lot easier.
I'm good. Probably should be. Maybe they think I'm over it.
So we're gonna flush the black tank. I put the black tank flush hose into the flush valve that I showed you yesterday on the back of the trailer with the water hookup. And so now we're gonna clean the black tanks. So with the freshwater tank empty, the black tank is flushed, the gray tank is empty. Now we've got to do the bypass on the hot water tank. I'll show you how to do that from the inside. And we're gonna have to empty the hot water tank from the outside. So you start off by relieving the pressure. Then you want to back off the nut. Most trailers will have an anode rod. Yours may not. It may just be the nut that blocks it. On our old trailer we had a nylon bushing. Was all that was holding that in there. But most have an anode. And so we're going to take that out. You do want to be careful when you're draining your hot water tank because the water is under pressure, so you want to relieve that pressure first. From my video last year where it exploded on me. And you want to be careful because the water could be hot if you were using it. Ours is lukewarm. We shut the heater off some time ago, so the water's just lukewarm. But do be careful in case it is hot. Okay, so we're back in the trailer. I wanted to show you the hot water bypass. You want to make sure that the hot water tank does not get filled with antifreeze. So let's have a look at how that happens.
You can see we have valves here as well as here. By changing the position of these valves, it changes the flow from going into the tank to going straight through the line and exiting through the other line. And so no antifreeze gets into the hot water tank.
So now let's go and drain the main drain points. So the last thing to do is to drain all the water out of the pipes and the fixtures. So we're going to shut off the city water. We're going to turn on all the faucets, including the outdoor shower, which is one of the furthest from the pump. The only thing that's not going to get emptied is the pump filter. I might try and do that today, but I might wait until we do the antifreeze. So to get all of the water out of the pipes, we have to find the low point drain. Okay. So with the lines empty inside, time to take the drain plugs out. That's it. The rest of the winterization is going to take place at home. So see you there. Okay, so you're watching our winterization video and we're in the middle of doing the plumbing. Well, the plumbing's been done and now it's a couple days later and I wanted to make sure it's not cold, so I'm not worried about antifreeze in the system. However, one thing that I'm very worried about is the seal in the toilet drying out because there is no water. You should always keep water in the toilet just so that the seal doesn't dry out. But I stopped by the trailer with some antifreeze and just put enough in to cover that seal. You definitely don't want that seal drying out. It'll crack, and if it is wet, if it doesn't dry out and it's wet and it does freeze in here, it could damage the seal. So the weather's gotten considerably colder at night, and I haven't finished putting the antifreeze in the trailer yet. So we're at the storage facility to put the rest of the antifreeze in, just to protect the water system until we can get it home and finalize the winterizing. So let's get busy. So in order to complete putting antifreeze in, this trailer comes with an antifreeze inlet installed for the pump. So we're going to hook that up, we're going to turn on the water pump, and we're going to drag antifreeze through the system. If you remember from the previous part of the video, the tanks are all emptied, the hot water tank is empty, everything's been emptied. So now it's just a matter of filling everything with antifreeze to protect it. And with the water pump on, we're going to run the faucets. You want to make sure that all the lines are filled with antifreeze, and you want to put a little bit of antifreeze in every sink just so that the P-traps are filled with antifreeze as well. So there's a bypass on the water pump, so you have to make sure that you put the bypass on so that it's siphoning directly out of the antifreeze can. Word of advice, make sure that everything is shut off inside before you put the water pump on. Ask me how I know. Now here in the washroom, I have removed the shower hose. It's an Oxygenics, so it's, it's an upgrade. So I didn't want it to get damaged over the winter, so I wanted to make sure that that was out of here. If you have an outdoor shower or a spray hose for outside, make sure that you do those as well. And you want to make sure to run everything until you have pink coming out, no more clear. There's still a bit of water left in that hot water line, so that's all gone now. I also ran a little bit through the miser. The miser is connected to the freshwater tank, and you really don't want antifreeze in the freshwater tank, but just a little bit to clear that pipe, and that should be good. That's going to be more than enough. And all that's left is the toilet. So you can see here,
We've used almost a full 10-liter jug
of antifreeze, but the system is pretty much done. I do have another 10 liters that I'm going to put in, which is what this is. I don't know how many gallons. So we do have another 10 liters that I'm going to put in the system just to make sure that everything is completely covered. It's $15, a little bit of extra insurance. Alright, so we're going to put that in. We're all done. Alright, so we've run all the lines. Everything is filled with pink, including the water filter. We're going to change all that next summer, get all of that out of there. But everything is filled up. We still have about 5 liters of antifreeze left, so we're going to go dump that in the tanks to keep the tanks safe for the winter. We're going to clean up, and we're all done. And just in case you're wondering, you see me soaping everything up. We're using Dawn, so safe for the environment. We're not putting soap everywhere. It's Dawn. I use it for oil cleanups and to clean animals, so pretty sure it's safe for the environment. Plumbing is clearly the biggest part of winterization, and with it out of the way, we're almost done. But before I finish, I wanted to cover a few points. First, I've created this winterization checklist. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to download it. You can check it off yourself. Of course, every trailer is different, but this gives you the basics of what needs to be done. Next, if you don't have a black tank flush, you can buy a wand that goes through the toilet. In our previous trailer, we had a black flush valve that connected to the sewer pipe outside, and that was very effective. Both of those things, it is pretty easy to damage your system, so you do want to check with the manufacturer's instructions and follow them so that you don't damage your unit. Many people also use an air connection to blow air out of the pipes. We've never done this. I don't want to put any unnecessary pressure on the pipes. We live in Canada, we have pretty cold winters. Never had an issue with freezing. You want to make sure that you put enough antifreeze to fill the P-traps in the sink and the shower, as well as the valve for the toilet. You want to push all that down into the tanks. Many RVs have an ice maker in the fridge, or they have washing machines. I don't have either one, so I can't speak to winterizing those. But everyone that I've talked to said that every one of them is different. You really need to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for those appliances. The hot water tank bypass, if your unit does not come with one, you can buy a kit. They're pretty easy to install.
I did show you ours. For rodents and pests, there's lots of different things. We use bounce sheets. We put steel wool in high traffic areas. We use mothballs, and that's it. We're ready for winter. You can find links for all the products that I've mentioned or shown in the video in the description below. So now let's have a moment of silence for all the RVs that are being winterized. If you have any questions, I would love to hear them in the comments below. So with the trailer parked for the winter, we won't be traveling for a bit, but don't despair. Barely covered our adventures from the summer, so come back in 2 weeks to see the end and what I think was the best part of the Outer Banks. You won't want to miss that. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, because our next adventure is just around the corner.